Well, that's awesome. Glad that you all made it. Today's webinar, we're going to be going over agent or onboarding. We're going to be going over training and onboarding for new agents. Best practices, of course. Regina has a lot of experience that she brings to the table. And
We're going to have a lot of fun today.
we're going to have a lot of fun. Yep, I got sidetracked with the chats here. But it looks like you're all ready and excited, so that's awesome.
Hey, Charlie.
Hello, hello.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Hey, Brian, we got to see your smiling face for a minute, too.
Hey, guys.
Hey, there you are.
Oh, I didn't realize my webcam was over here.
All right, live all the way from Brokerage headquarters.
Yep. Charlie is Brokerman's VP of Enterprise Sales. I'm an account
wonderful.
advisor over here. Yeah, so glad everybody was able to make it. Regina also has her own set of qualifications here that we'll get into just a minute, but we wanted to start things off with a poll here. So how many agents are you all going to recruit in 2019? And let me just send the poll right now.
Hey, we're not even done with 2018 and we're already planning for 2019. You know what I say to that? Woohoo! Awesome.
That's right.
Hey, and I would encourage everybody not to just put down the number of agents that you've always recruited every year. I would like you to think a little outside the box maybe and think of a stretch goal. Think of something that's going to be a little more of a challenge for you that you can really enjoy that challenge next year. Something that's, more than what you did last year. So hopefully everybody's thinking of that and planning for that. We're going to show you how to build the infrastructure and build some big business systems that will allow you to hire, 10, 30, 100 agents if that's your goal.
Exactly.
How are we doing on that poll there, Brian?
Looks like we got 73% of people have voted so far.
Okay.
Going to leave it on for probably 10 more seconds, everybody.
Okay.
So vote if you can.
Okay, awesome.
And a few more trickling in here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to cut it off. But it looks like the majority of people are either going to recruit probably 10 to 15 people next year or less than 10.
Okay. So hopefully everybody's thinking of your stretch goals, doing a little more than you did last year, making it realistic though. All right, 40% of people, that was the biggest answer, 10 to 15. Wow, 7% said 51 or more. Awesome. We're here to support you with that goal.
Absolutely. You're probably in need of a system that can help support that. So we'll get into that.
Definitely. We're not going to be recreating the wheel for 51 new agents or 100 new agents. So.
Right. Okay. So here's kind of our agenda for the day here. You can go ahead and take it away to start, Regina.
Sure. The first thing that we're going to do is gift you with an agent onboarding packet that I created. You can go ahead and download that now. I think Brian's going to go ahead and put that in the chat for you.
Posting it in the chat.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's a bit.ly link, bit.ly/onboard7. Actually, it's bit.ly/onboard7. And that is my agent onboarding packet. And a little bit about what it is and how it got there. So, I started as a brokerage owner many years ago. I didn't have systems. I couldn't find any systems. So I ended up creating my own. And within the last year, I've had other brokerages that have wanted to, find out what I'm doing. And they're interested in these systems. So I put them together in a little packet for you. And I do sell these online, but today it's my gift to you. And that's what we're going to use today to go through our illustrious demo.
Yep. And we all thank you for that. This information is absolutely invaluable, Regina.
Awesome.
And
well,
not only...
I love sharing and contributing. That's where my heart is really. And I love seeing brokerage owners succeed. I mean, it just makes me so happy to see so many brokerage owners that are really learning how to systematize and grow their business, instead of struggling as a little mom and pop shop, which I did for many years, wishing I had somebody to help guide me like this.
And along with the packet that we're going to be reviewing, we're also going to be going over how to mock up this packet and mock up the onboarding process within Brokerman itself to automate the process of onboarding new agents.
That's right. Create a system.
Exactly. So we're also offering something on our end, on Brokerman's end, for anybody who's not an existing client of Brokerman that attends this webinar. Feel free to sign up for one of our live demonstrations. Mention that you attended this webinar, and you'll get your first 3 months of Brokerman at 50% off.
Woohoo! Awesome. Awesome deal. And
Not
I
as
have
good as
another
free.
special for you too, but I'm going to save it to the end. So I have a master class we're going to talk about, but anyway, let's get started.
All right. So again, we have our special guest here, Regina Brown, who has a lot of experience to bring to the table. And you could kind of introduce yourself, Regina, and talk about your experiences.
Sure, I'd be happy to. I got my real estate license in 1988, almost exactly 30 years ago to the day. And since then, I've operated brokerages as property management, sales, done a lot of different things. But what I really sought was some type of a system that could really help me skyrocket my business. And I didn't find that. I struggled as a mom and pop shop for many years. Just recently, about 3 years ago, I decided to go back to school because I wanted to learn more about business concepts and I wanted to learn it at a higher level. So I finished my bachelor in real estate at Ashford University. Then I went on to Azusa Pacific, got my MBA, Master Business Administration. And through that process, I learned about what the Fortune 500 companies are doing that I wasn't doing. And I thought, you know, I can adapt those to fit my brokerage so I could be super successful. And other brokers asked me for help, and I thought, well, I can share this with them too. So that's a little bit about how this whole process was born. I'm also by nature a systems person. I'm a technical writer. I love building the infrastructure, the systems and the processes that set the foundation for you to be successful. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, how to make you successful in your real estate brokerage.
There you go. So that kind of brings us over to poll number 2. And the question is, do you have an onboarding system right now? Let me go ahead and launch that for you. Let's see what you guys have.
Okay, so the answers are, yes, I have a system. It's on autopilot. Well, it's not finished, but we're still working on building it. Or no, we really don't have enough agents to have a system. I'm anxious to see what everybody is going to say here. You know, we're in some of the Facebook groups, and I've already given this poll out. So it was very interesting to see the results yesterday. So I'm excited to see what everybody else says here.
And to answer the question in chat here, we have a question. Are we talking about a process system or actual technology? And really all we're talking about is, do you have a process in place? Do you have something, whether it's on paper, in your head? What do you have to onboard agents, or do you just wing it is really the question.
Yeah, we know a lot of people don't have the system already integrated with the technology. That's why we're here showing it to you today. But some people do already have a system on paper, a checklist that they go through, which I'm going to show you the checklist later today that I use. And Michelle says a fourth category of yes, but we're looking to improve it. Okay.
There you go. All right. So you'll definitely get some nice tidbits and pieces of valuable information from Regina on to kind of how to improve your existing process. But it looks like we've had enough votes here. So let's go ahead and end the poll. And it looks like the majority of people are right where we want you. Well, we're working on building.
Okay, great.
You're in the right place.
That means you realize that you need some type of system, and you're ready to put it together. So I think that is a perfect segue into my screen sharing, right?
Yep. Let's go ahead and pull up Regina's onboarding packet.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here.
No, I haven't seen anything like that. I don't.
Okay. And here you're going to see my agent onboarding forms packet. Hopefully everybody had the opportunity to download that already with the link that we provided to you. As I said, it's several forms that I've pulled together, made a little packet, and hopefully you can adapt it to your own brokerage. So the 5 forms included in the packet are: number 1, the associate application; number 2, the closed transactions board; number 3, the active transactions board; number 4 is our checklist; and number 5 is the welcome letter. So let's just dive right in here. Let's start with the associate application. Now this is another sort of informal poll that I did in the Facebook group, the IBN group, Independent Broker Network, and I asked how many of us brokerage owners have an application form for agents to apply, and most apparently did not. So I hope that this is helpful to you and you can adapt it to your brokerage. So what you can do is you can take this form, add your logo, add your branding, make this specific to your state, and this is something that you can use to screen agents. Now, the reason I use an application form and I put it in their file is, well, for several different reasons. First of all, liability for your brokerage, right? We're going to see that as we go through this form. And secondly is to know how to place the agent in our system, and how that we can offer the most support and help to make them successful and productive. It also gives you a chance to sit down with the agent and go through some of these things step by step with them in an interview process. Right? So the first thing it asks for is the associate name, the date, start date requested, and then it asks who referred you to our company. Now I call that the source of referral or source of lead, and that's really important because at the end of the year, you want to look back at your successful agents, find out how they got to your company, and then that can be your main recruiting strategy for the next year to go get more successful agents just like those. It's the same thing with your buyers and sellers, right? At the end of the year, you look at your closed transactions, or I do, and I look to see where those closed transactions originated. Were they referred to me by a friend? Was it an online lead? Did I pay for marketing? And then I look at what I need to do to increase next year having successful transactions. So it's the same type of thing. Next, it asks what type of license do you have? Is it a real estate sales agent or a broker? Now, a little side note here, I know there are some states that don't have salesperson's license. They only have brokerage license. So you're going to want to adapt this. Do they have a designated broker license or a regular broker license? Also, you want to know the state that issued the license and the license number and the date it was issued. You're going to look it up online on the state licensing website to verify all of this, right? You're going to have it in writing, but you don't take their word. You are going to look up and verify that and make sure it's all valid. And then it asks for the expiration date of their license. The reason I do this is because, you know, here in California, the licenses expire every 4 years. I know in other states it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years. But as the license expires, you need to keep tabs on your agents, make sure they're doing their CE, their continuing education, and make sure that they're staying in the loop and keeping their license active. What happens if you don't track it? Your agent, for some reason, forgets to renew their license. All of a sudden, you have a liability because you have an agent working at your brokerage who is not licensed, right? How scary is that? So definitely put that in your tickler file. Keep track of those expiration dates so you can prompt them, 60, 90, 30 days in advance and say, your license coming up for renewal. Here's an online system that you can go and you can register. You can actually even put that in BrokerMint, with the notification and also the link that you want them to go and take their CE classes and renew their license. So anyway, license renewal is really important. Next, we ask what company are you currently with and what is their contact info? And before you call them for a reference, you want to make sure it's okay with that agent, because they may not have yet given their notice. Their current broker may not know they're thinking about leaving the company. So definitely check before you call for a reference. Next, we asked, how many transactions have you completed year to date, last year, and total career? The reason we ask this, well, it's a twofold reason. First of all, we want to know where to put them in our system to support them. And secondly, we want to know about our pay level. I'll get to that in just a minute, but our compensation at our brokerage is partially based on the agent's experience level. So wouldn't you agree that those agents who are newbie agents, they just got their license, they passed the exam, they took all the classes, but yet they have no clue how to even go about closing a transaction? They're going to need a lot of hand-holding. They're going to need help. They're going to need coaching, a mentor, training. So those agents need a lot more assistance. So that is why at our brokerage, they get a lower commission split versus an agent who's closed thousands of transactions or, 100. They're so self-sufficient. They just need to learn things our way in our proprietary systems, but they're not calling every day for help on issues. And, I don't have to get on the phone with them and their client and sort of walk them through the process. So for those agents, we're going to offer different types of support, and we're also going to offer a higher compensation split. So that's how we do it. Every brokerage has their own unique way of doing it, but I think it's still helpful to understand, what kind of help and support they need. So any questions on that? Comments from anybody?
So far, it looks like everybody's on the same page here. Looks like somebody hasn't been using application forms, and they wanted to thank you for that.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I hope that this can be of help to you and help you set up a great solid foundation for your brokerage. Now let's continue on with the application form. We have a series of questions here, and these are for liability purposes for your brokerage. So let's just go through each of these and touch on them briefly. The first asks, have you ever been disciplined by the State Department of Real Estate? Now, if somebody has, they're going to provide you an explanation. You, as the brokerage owner, you can decide whether you still want to take on that agent based on the level of risk and liability that they bring to your company, or is it something that was maybe just a fluke, or they learned their lesson, or something like that. But definitely you want to be aware of that, because you don't want to bring on an agent and then all of a sudden you hear from other agents in your company through the rumor mill that this is an agent that's been on probation with the state and has a bad reputation. So you want to know that right up front. You want to know what you're getting into before you start this relationship. The next asks, have you ever been sued or filed a lawsuit? So that's something you want to know about your agents too. Maybe they're in the middle of a lawsuit with a client. Wouldn't that be helpful to know before you hire them? Have you ever had an E&O insurance claim? Now, if you're hiring an agent that has claim after claim after claim, maybe that's a liability or a risk that you don't want to take on as your brokerage. You don't want to expose your firm to the higher chance of more E&O insurance claims. I mean, besides the obvious headache that costs you money because you still have to pay your deductible, and newsflash, fraudulent agents aren't covered by E&O insurance anyways. So, that can't always be a fallback for everything. We really need to do our due diligence in screening an agent. Have you ever been reprimanded by a realtor board or an association? If so, wouldn't you want to know about that in advance? And wouldn't that be part of your decision to hire? And the last one asks, have you ever been party to mediation or arbitration? I think that would be less important than somebody who's, litigious, is always filing lawsuits or being sued. But I think that's still something important to ask, right? And then, obviously you want an explanation in writing. I don't think their explanation is going to fit in that little line, but they can, give you a separate piece of paper with their explanation. I prefer to have it in writing in the file so it's documented in case something happens in the future. You can say, yes, we did interview this agent. Yes, we were aware of this. Here was the explanation, which we thought was acceptable, and, keep going on. So hopefully those questions will help you in your screening process with the agent. One of the things that we need to be aware of is we all know of those brokerages that hire any agent who fogs a mirror, right? In other words, anybody with a license, they just hire, and then after a while, there's problems that come up, there's headaches, they aren't good team players. The bottom line is that agent probably shouldn't have been hired because they didn't align with the values of your company, right? They weren't, on board and committed to your values and your vision and your mission. So wouldn't it be good to know that up front before you hire and make sure that you have a good fit for your values? Okay, so next we ask, what skills and strengths do you bring to our company? So the reason we ask this is because we really want to know not only how we can serve the agent, but for myself, I'm always thinking long term. I'm thinking, how can somebody eventually be promoted to a manager, or how can they fit in my company? And maybe you have them do the DISC profile as part of their application process, and then you find out what their personality is. That's great, because no matter what personality they have, there is a fit for them at your brokerage, and you want to make sure you get that person into the right fit. If it's a person that is maybe not sales oriented, maybe you have that person being a great admin assistant, or maybe you have a need for a bookkeeper or somebody to help you out with your records and your processes and systems if they're not good at sales. So definitely you want to know that before they start. And the next question asks, what do you hope to gain by working with our company? And the reason I ask that question is because I want to know what they expect of me. I call this my market research. How can we serve you better? What are the things that you need to do to be successful, and what are your expectations for us, right? So it's definitely a two-way street. The next question asks education and experience. We want them to attach a resume. Now, I'm aware that many real estate agents do not have resumes, so that's something that you want to deal with individually at your brokerage. But for me, I still want something in writing that shows some type of experience and what they've done, even if it's not a formal resume. Okay, and then of course you have to have their license. In some states you have to get their license. Once you've switched over, put it up on the wall at your brokerage office, and that's fine too. So we have on here, agent is a licensed real estate agent in good standing with the state board and submits application to be an associate realtor with the company. They sign, they date it. And the next section on there you're going to recognize, it says broker recommends agent for power level. So I was telling you that's what our procedure is. We have power levels based on their experience, and that is, we have a sliding scale compensation chart, and their power level factors into that. Okay, so definitely we want to place them in the right spot that aligns with their experience level, that we can support them and help them to be productive for, wherever they're at in the scale, whether they're a newbie or, mid-producing agent, seasoned agent, things like that. Okay, any questions?
There is a good question here.
All right, let's hear it.
And it's actually, is there a particular personality test that you'd recommend having agents complete?
Okay, that's a great question. A lot of people do the DISC, D-I-S-C, and there are some free sources you can find if you search online. There's another test. There's a couple different other ones. There is the Myers-Briggs Test, or I think it's called Briggs-Meyer. Anyway, it's one of those, and that one's a little more complex because you have 12 personality types as compared to the DISC where you only have 4. It's a little easier to, categorize people when you have fewer categories. And then there's also a Strengths Finder test, But I would recommend the disc to start out.
There you go.
Okay, awesome. Great question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so these other forms we're going to breeze through pretty fast, but this is a form called Transactions Closed. And I use this form for new agents coming in because I want to know where to place them in my power level. As we said earlier, I want to see what their experience level is. Now, some agents are going to scoff at filling out a form like this, and that's okay as long as they provide me something in writing. If they go to the MLS and push a button and send me a list of all their sales in the last 5 years, that's okay too. I just want something I can put in the file that I can verify, if that makes sense, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you a good overview of that agent and where they've been in their career, where they're going. The next form is called Transactions Currently in Progress. And this form, I'll just say it's a little bit of a touchy topic here, right? Because every brokerage has their own procedures or rules about when agents leave their company. Are they allowed to take their listings? Are they allowed to take transactions that are in escrow? Are they allowed to take their leads with them? So you have your own rules, but remember, the agent at their current brokerage, that brokerage will have the rules as well, and you need to see how those are going to fit with your brokerage. So if an agent comes over, they have 3 leads from the brokerage, they may have to give those back. They have current listings. Their brokerage may say, hey, you can keep those. And they would bring over their listings. If they have something under contract, most likely, those are going to stay at the other brokerage. Or if they come over, they may have to pay a referral fee for that. So these are issues that probably need to be discussed in advance. I mean, you can see obviously where this might come in. Any questions on that before we go to the checklist here?
There is one question, but
Okay.
I'm handling it in chat here.
Oh, okay, good.
You could go ahead and continue.
All right. So let's go to the checklist. That's on page 6. Now, if you tuned in for my session 6 of my Build Your Brokerage Empire series, you're going to see that we talked about this form, and we talked about setting up processes and putting everything on automatic pilot. And there is a little exception to that, is that everything will not be on automatic pilot. Most things will, but some things will not. So let's talk about the first part, which is the welcome. When I have a new agent come on, I want to sit with them for an hour or 2 or however long it takes and talk with that agent personally. I want to, as a brokerage owner, welcome them, thank them for their contribution, let them know I believe in them and that I see value in them, in that person, and how they can fit into our team. I also want to look them in the eye and share with them my personal vision from the heart, my mission, my values for our company, and set up the expectations properly in the beginning. And I find when I do that at the very beginning, even though it's a little bit of an investment of my time, that I set the framework for their future success, and they feel that very strong personal commitment, and they tend to be very successful because of that relationship we started out on the right foot. So that's my part that I always do at the beginning. It's personal, it's from me, it's one-on-one. And then after that, all the rest of the steps, I just put them in the system, and my assistant handles everything else. So the admin assistant will handle the brokerage startup section, which is all the logistical paperwork. The agent will put the events on their calendar. The agent will make sure that they join the professional associations or realtor association, the MLS, get their lockbox key, and my admin assistant will follow up on that. And then I have somebody doing marketing materials for all the agents, the signs, the business cards. They're helping them with their bio. And then, of course, we're going to have policy and procedures manuals, so the agents will need to ensure they have a copy of that, and they sign off that they're going to comply with data security, confidentiality. At our company, we also have a service pledge that is how we treat our clients and how we treat each other, and they're going to agree to our service pledge, of course. And then we have the compensation and sales, which is our independent contractor agreement and their sales power chart, compensation, and that's going to be sent to them by our admin assistant, and then the agent's going to sign it and then upload that, and then we just have the conclusion. So again, so we have the personal touch, and then everything else is systematized. And Brian, after my last little letter I'm going to show you, Brian is going to show us how we systematize all of this in Brokerment. Any questions? I thought I saw something pop up there.
There is one. So under Brokerage Startup.
Okay, let's go back up. Yes?
Should the broker activate or switch the license after the contract is signed?
Well, I think you should probably check with your attorney in your state, but I typically get the contract signed and then switch the license. It could be done all, it should be done all at the same time, but it's sort of like which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right. If you're doing it in a checklist formula, one does have to come before the other.
Yes, definitely. One of the issues with switching license, so here in California we have e-licensing where they go on and they switch it themselves, but they have to sign in and actually do it. So I have had before where an agent didn't go in and switch it like they were supposed to, and we had to keep following up and say, can you please switch your license over, that type of thing. But I think agents are going to want to see the contract and agree to it before they switch their license over. I mean, probably, everybody would agree that you're not just going to blindly switch your license. You want to see what you're being offered. You want a chance to review it, maybe even take it to your legal team and make sure that this is what you want to get into before you switch your license over. So that's my reasoning. Hope that helps.
It does. An interesting piece of information. In Hawaii, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to process a license switch.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do it in California. We have the e-licensing system. It takes literally 10 seconds. I'm not kidding.
Can't beat that.
Simple. No, you just log in and there's a button. You just click the button, switch my employment. You type in the new broker's license and click a button. And then that's it. The brokerage just has to go in and click accept. So, and I'll often do it with them in my office there. After they sign the form, I'll have them log in and then I log in and accept it. So we do it right there on the spot. So, yeah.
All right. So we did have a question a little while ago from Melissa Sanchez. She was wondering about an electronic version of this application. And I think that's the perfect segue for us to jump into Brokerment and show how we're going to turn this onboarding packet Regina designed into an automation.
Absolutely. Let's do it. The last page is just a welcome email to your new associate. We don't need to review it, but let's jump into Brokerment and see how to systematize this whole thing.
All right. Let's do it.
I'm going to stop my screen sharing. Oh, there you did for me.
All right. Got you switched over.
All right.
So just a little reintroduction here. My name's Brian. I'm the account advisor over here at Brokerment, and we're going to just jump into Brokerment. We're going to configure a new checklist. I already have it built in, but I'll kind of show you how that works. We're going to onboard a new agent into Brokerment. We're going to show you that you can actually onboard existing agents a second time. So if you have an agent, they've been doing real great, and on that goal sheet, they said they wanted to be promoted into a manager position. This is how you would do it. You'd just onboard them again with new paperwork, new things to fill out, new information, and then have that listed as their second onboarding. And then you will be able to monitor the process as we continue along. And it's real exciting. So without further ado, let's just jump into Brokerment.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So over here, we kind of jumped the gun there, but you can see we have our users already in Brokerment. We have 2 people in onboarding right now, and we're going to jump over to Mr. Onboarding.
Do you think we should set up the new agent?
We could go ahead and do that too.
Okay.
Before we jump into that, let's go ahead and just explore a few of the things Regina was talking about with Mr. New Agent here.
New agent already.
So these fields on the bottom are all fully customizable within Brokerman itself. But a few things that Regina pointed out that are pretty vital towards onboarding agents for just about any scenario are going to be the goal setting for agents. You want to have kind of a clear set goal for everybody joining on so that you know what you want to work towards, and you want to know if anybody's kind of fallen behind. We also are able to set the agent referral source, which again is very important. You want to be able to make decisions based off of this data and analytics.
Yeah, and you can pull that from the application too.
Yep, you could do it either way. In Brokerment, you could just create a custom field, and at the end of the year, you can see, which agents came from what source and where you should focus your energy for the next year to be most.
Now, I want to point out that you have their license number and license expiration date fields in there, which is really, really important. Like we talked about, you need to be able to track when their license is expiring and give them a heads up prior so that if they, choose not to renew their license, that you need to drop them because they can't be actively working at your brokerage.
Absolutely. The idea here with all of onboarding and all this recruiting is we want to have agents that are assets and not liabilities. And this is kind of a compliance quality assurance.
High five over the video.
Exactly. So that's how you would create a new user in Brokerman. Again, you just set up a few things here. Just do a bogus email for right now. And we would set all this up again based off of the application the agent filled out. This is some more internal stuff based off of your procedures. Don't have to worry about that or commission plans for now. What's really important is that we get this agent starting the onboarding process.
So you're going to click the box, start onboarding process, and then you're going to select the template that you set up for that.
Exactly. So this is the orientation checklist that Regina just went over with you. I will just create a user, and you'll see they pop up right here. And I'll give you the fresh look so we can see exactly what happens. Now this agent, this is all they have access to within Brokerment. They're not able to actually work on transactions or listings or anything until they complete this checklist. And again, fully customizable. You're able to kind of go in to set up any type of checklist you want based off of your procedures in your business. You can see.
I just wanted to point out on the left, BS is Brian Shepard, that's you, NA is the new agent.
Exactly. I was just going to say, so each of these tasks have a designated person to complete the task. You'll see it's assigned to Brian Shepard. And then for the agent, you'll see it's assigned to the new agent that we just created. Each task is as simple or can be as simple as just clicking off the checkbox. Brian Shepard is the broker in this situation. So Brian says, I did give him the welcome letter, so I'm going to check it off. And some things need to be created by the agent or checked off by the agent themselves or uploaded by the agent. If they need to fill out a form with their licensing paperwork, they could do it straight through Brokerment.
We do have a question here. Can more than one person be assigned to an item?
That is a great question, and I will show you right now. The answer is no, just to answer your question, but you can assign it to anybody. We'll say this needs to go to Bob Smith, and whether you could determine whether it requires a document to be attached or if it's going to need a form that's already pre-templated within the system.
Right. So a document attaches like a standard document, and then a form is something that they might have to sign, right? Like their independent contractor agreement.
Exactly. And you can set the forms to pre-fill and auto-populate within Brokerment.
Okay, so let's see this form.
And what it'll do.
I love that you've integrated it with the e-signing. That's really awesome because, like, agents, we don't want to have to print all this stuff out, sign it, and backs it back in. Just give us something easy that walks us through the process.
Exactly. And this is a demo account, so nothing here is going to be legally binding. In case any of you get this, you don't have to sign it. And if you do, we can't hold it against you. But within Brokerment, you are able to actually have these fields auto-populate, or you can have for the checkboxes here, the agent selects which one. You can have them fill out the explanation. But things like their name, date, all that kind of stuff could be auto-populated within Brokerment.
And I love that because we have our independent contract independent contractor agreement, the ICA in California, with our California Association of Realtors. And that's something that we really would like to, have put on autopilot. We just, once the agent is assigned to their power level, we'll have the admin go in and, make sure their compensation is correct, because we do Exhibit A and Exhibit B with it, which is the compensation schedule. So we want to make sure that's reflected in there, and then, send them the whole package. All they have to do is go in, review it, and sign.
Exactly. And again, you did see me add a new task for all of these checklists. They're fully customizable. This is templated, but you can still add random one-off tasks for the employee or the agent to fill out for you as a case-by-case scenario, and it won't affect the actual template you create.
I want to also mention that this checklist may look long and overwhelming to your agents when they first get into it, but first of all, they should know that some of the tasks they don't have to complete. It's completed for them and checked off, just like you did the very first one, welcome new associate. That's something you as the broker are doing, and you're checking it off, and so they can get in and they see, oh, all these things are already checked off. The second thing is that some of these are things that, according to our checklist, we want them to schedule events on their calendar. So scheduling and calendaring is a huge part of managing your daily routine for real estate agents. And for us, you can kind of go down to where it says events down there, Brian, weekly meetings. So yeah, so we have a weekly team meeting every Monday, and we want to make sure that that's on their calendar. We want to make sure it pops up in their phone. We have reports due every Friday. And since we're talking about systems, I guess I'll just mention a little bit about reports, but we want to know what our agents are doing. It's really hard to keep track of them. They're independent contractors. You never see them sometimes in the office, and you don't know if they're doing nothing or if they're out there doing tons of transactions or contacting people or advertising. So you need to have an idea of what's going on. You don't want to find out when your agent calls you and says, help, I'm in a pickle. Can you rescue me? You want to know before that what they have going on in their pipeline. Exactly. So we have a weekly report that they fill out, and they just tell us, what they did this week, and what new transactions they have, or what new buyers or sellers they're working with. And so I would want them to have that in their calendar. It's due Friday at 4, so I'd like to have it in their calendar at 3 o'clock every Friday. They go in and fill out the form so they can submit it on time, and it's as simple as putting a reminder in. Mm-hmm. We also have under that daily kickoff trainings. So every morning at 8:30, we have about 15 to 20 minute, we call it a kickoff. Some people call it a huddle, right? You just get together and you give them a little training, talk about their success, help them focus on their goals for the day, a little bit of accountability. And so we have that every morning. And we like to have as many agents as possible, so we want them to just add to their calendar. That takes, 30 seconds, and then you can check that off the list.
Exactly. It's just making sure that every agent goes through the complete process 100% every time.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
It's a standard.
Exactly. Exactly.
And after they've been to your brokerage, they will expect that from everybody.
Right. So I do have a few questions here, kind of technical questions.
Okay.
I do want to answer them, though.
Okay, go ahead.
So Julie, we went over yours, but Melissa, you said, could we possibly create a secondary or adjacent task for another person? Again, you would have to have a tasks in kind of an order that need to be completed. However, if you do use a form, or if you do have a document that needs to be signed by multiple parties, you could set it up to be sent out to one person for signature, another person for signature, and then finally somebody to review that. That is something we can do. However, if you're looking to make just like secondary tasks, it's probably better to just make a second task altogether. Another question from Julie here, which is, if we have more than one person doing an onboarding, can they see and complete a task on someone else's behalf? So the answer is the agent will be able to see this entire checklist, but they will not be able to access anything else in Brokerman. An admin or the broker himself would be able to access all of the different agents who are in onboarding. As you can see, you can just click and see the status of everybody's onboarding within your brokerage. But only the person who's designated each task is able to fill out the task and complete the task.
I would mention that some things do require multiple people to do it. Like, for example, the agent is responsible for switching their license over and for joining, switching their realtor association membership to your brokerage and switching their MLS to your brokerage. But your admin assistant, it should go in and verify all of that too, that they have completed those tasks. So you're probably going to want to have an admin assistant go in, and once everything is checked off, just verify everything.
Right. And just to kind of to alleviate some confusion here, Julie, the agents, when they first log in and they're put into the onboarding system, this is all they'll be able to see. They'll see the whole checklist with everybody who has assigned tasks for it, but they won't be able to access Brokerment and work on transactions or listings or whatever else is in the system until they fill out this, and they're definitely gone through all the steps. And this is, the quality control, the quality assurance.
Okay. Okay, Julie said at their state they're responsible for changing licenses, MLS, and board memberships. Okay, that's good. At ours, the agent has to initiate it and fill out all the forms, but then it has to be signed off by the broker at the end. So, and she said she doesn't want everybody to see the internal tasks. I don't care if they see the internal tasks. I think that's perfectly fine that they know things are being done. So.
And you can leave those out of the checklist if it's kind of behind the scenes type thing. Just make sure that you notate or you have your own type of system to make sure you get it done.
If you could scroll down a little bit, Brian, to the marketing towards the end there.
Right here.
So we have the marketing materials, right? The signs and writers, business cards, name badge, email banners, web page. Those are all done by your admin assistant, not by the agent. But I want my agent to see that we're doing this on their behalf. We're bringing value to them because we're ordering the business cards. We're ordering signs and writers. We're ordering the name badge. We're spending money and effort and time to create this email banner and to create this nice flyer with you on it after you send us your, of course you have to send us your headshot.
Your mugshot, right?
Yeah.
So I do have some more systems questions here. Everybody, just to kind of make sure we're all on the same page. The checklist for onboarding is just made under the checklists field. You'll have a checklist for transactions, and you'll also have checklists for agent onboarding. They are all fully customizable. This is the one that we have pre-built with the system. And this is Regina's, which is obviously a lot more thorough and a lot more relevant. So take that for what it's worth.
You want to make sure it's customized to your brokerage. So.
Exactly.
So Julie says her list is incredibly overwhelming. You might want to group things together, like, how I had each of the marketing pieces there. I have like 7 different marketing pieces. You could just have one task that says all, marketing tasks. So instead of having 7, just have one. Behind the scenes, you're doing all the things you need to do, and then you just check off the one task.
Right.
So.
And all of this data will be saved in Brokerment, attached to your agent indefinitely. I know we're kind of retreading over old subjects here, and I don't want to get too sidetracked. So for everybody with technical questions, I highly recommend either reaching out to your rep over here at Brokerment or give us a call and scheduling a live demonstration. We take more of a consultative approach over here. So if you did want to kind of go over checklists and how to customize them, we'll be happy to do that with you over the phone to see, and via webinar in real time to see how it would actually affect your business and support you.
Yeah, awesome. I love that you spend the time with every client to help them be successful. Hey, so Brian, there were a couple of comments that some people said they didn't have the agent onboarding. And so maybe you want to explain that.
We knew this question would come up. So agent onboarding in Brokerment is only available for our enterprise level clients. So if you're not on the enterprise plan, again, reach out. Or if you're not an existing customer of ours yet, feel free to reach out and schedule one of our free demos. Again, if you do mention Brokerment when scheduling your demo, and that you attended this webinar rather, you'll get 50% off Brokerment for your first 3 months.
Well, first of all, I have to give kudos to those participants, brokerage owners who are following along and they're checking their system to see how it would work with them. So that's awesome. I mean, that's very action oriented.
Absolutely.
Hey, if you could scroll up one more thing.
Mm-hmm. Where are we at? Marketing.
No, just to the screen that has there we go, the agent onboarding on the left.
Got it. Yeah. So this is your checklists section under Brokerment.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll show you your transaction checklists, which are great for transaction management. But today it's all about the agent onboarding. And you can see I have 3 checklists here. You could create additional checklists. Again, if you're promoting somebody to be a manager, you could create a new checklist for them to onboard with. And both checklists and answers would be saved on that agent's profile.
I want to point out another checklist that you have on there, which is goal setting and accountability. And I mean, this is something you and I discussed this morning prior to this, Brian, is that you can use this agent onboarding feature for other things besides just simple orientation process. You could also do your goal setting and accountability system and have that in there available for them. You know, for example, maybe every month or every quarter they have to go in and review their goals. They have to go in and set new goals or say how they've met their goals or how they plan to meet them. You can have forms that you attach for them, or you can have something you fill out. And of course, because you're the brokerage owner, you have a master account, you can see what their production is live in real time. They're in Brokerment, and you can compare that to what they say they'd like to do. And I think that's a really important piece, is the goal setting and accountability, because, you know, as a brokerage owner, you hire agents, you have no idea if they're going to succeed. Some of them just flounder around, and they are really scattered, and they don't have a clear direction. And it's our job to give them that path that they can follow. It's our job to say, here's the roadmap to get from point A where you are to point B, which is have a successful, you know, productive and profitable 2019. If you follow these steps, you can get from here to there, right? Not saying that they're necessarily going to follow that, because we know they don't always do what we, you know, what we recommend, but just to have that path. And I think this system could be used as an accountability tool to have that path and make sure that they, you know, are following that roadmap that you have outlined for them.
Exactly. Do your due diligence, and it'll all pay off in the end.
Right. Awesome. And another way you could use it is we like to do training videos. So maybe you have a training video that you want them to watch every week. You have a new training video, and so you're going to put your link to a new video in there, and or maybe a training system. Mm-hmm. And that's another way you can use it. You can add another template on there. You want to show us how to do that with the add template?
Yep. So we could just create a new onboarding checklist. Typically, the onboarding checklist we're not going to want to do for weekly videos. If you want your agents to sign up or to attend weekly videos, it's actually easier to do on the dashboard. Just update your video every week. The reason being is because when you do put an agent into onboarding, again, once they log into Brokerment, they don't see this. All they see is their onboarding, which would look like this. So once an agent logs in, this is all they see until they're completely 100% onboarded. They've done all the tasks. They've done everything correctly. Then they're allowed to actually
Okay, that makes sense. But you can put things in the library, right?
Absolutely. Well, the broker can. The agent, again.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah, the broker can put things in the library that they want their agents to train or learn on, or success kits or things that they have there.
Right. And you can assign multiple checklists to an agent, Julie. We're talking about onboarding checklists here. So what you're going to do is assign one at a time, because they are going to have to get through one checklist in order to have access to Brokerment. And then you push them back into another onboarding checklist if you say you're going to promote them, or you need more. If they didn't fill out their W-9 correctly, you just didn't catch it fast enough, you just push them back into the onboarding checklist and make sure they fill it out on time.
Yeah, really great really great system here. I'm loving this, Brian. I'm really glad that I decided to take a look at this system, and I like it. One of the things I really like about Brokerment is how you're very flexible and open to adding features that your users need and always improving the system. So that's one of the reasons that you're at the top of my list.
Thank you. Yeah, and we try to innovate here. We take our clients' feedback very seriously. We actually hold biweekly prioritization meetings based off the feedback that we
Oh,
hear.
wow.
And you can see everybody, even the onboarding agent has access to our feedback portal. If you have an idea or a suggestion, you just type it out on here. People will vote on it. And every 2 weeks, we review these votes. We talk about it. And that's how we decide to implement new
Cool.
features. For example, agent onboarding.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. And also the Facebook group too. I know you mentioned that at the beginning, but there's a Facebook group for Brokerment. You can also go on and, see what others are saying and, give any suggestions, find out tips and tricks, and see all the new video tutorials too.
Absolutely. Yeah. So definitely sign up for the Facebook group. We do check it. We will hear you. There are a few other things we want to go over. I know we're kind of running short on time here. So for everybody who has technical questions about Brokerment, again, I just want to say, give us a call, sign up for one of our free demos, or talk to your support rep, and we'll go over all this for you again. We do take a consultative approach here, so we want to learn about your business and see how Brokerment will support your specific structure. So again, this will be recorded. I do see some people didn't get Regina's PDF. I'll be
I'm typing
emailing-
it in. I'm typing it in right now. I put in the link.
Okay.
So,
That
W
was
Starks.
private, Regina, so we'll...
Oh, sorry. Oh, it says all panelists. Oh, panelists. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's okay. So there, I'll put it out there again for everybody though. All panelists and attendees. Oh, you put it out there.
I
Thank you.
gotcha. Yeah. So let's just jump back into the slideshow here. I know you guys have a ton of questions here about the system. Again, try to reach out to us so we can make it a little bit more personable and more specific to
Awesome.
what you're looking for.
I love it.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be a part of moving our industry forward with, having great systems in place.
Exactly. So now we're going to talk about what Gina brought to the table today for all of you for free that she was holding off on talking about. So take it away, Regina.
Well, actually, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for tuning in today, taking some time out of your busy schedule. I know that as brokerage owners, we are very busy. We have a lot of demands on us, and we don't always have time to work on our business. So my hat's off to you for taking time out of your busy day.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you for allowing me to, share with you some things that hopefully can help you move your business forward. Again, my goal is to help you create an infrastructure to build something long-lasting, build something that's going to withstand the coming storms of the market. We don't know what the market's going to do, but I know I'm going to be ready regardless because I've spent a lot of time preparing and having solid systems in place. And I hope that's what we're all doing as well.
Yep. And I see Dana reached out. I know, perfect example. Dana's on vacation and he still took the time to attend the webinar.
Oh, awesome. Hey, Dana.
Okay.
I
So
think we
yeah,
have another slide after that.
get over there. All right. So yeah, again, Brokerment, what we're bringing to the table, anyone who signs up for one of our live demos and mentions that you attended this webinar, you will be getting 50% off your first 3 months if you decide to sign up with Brokerment.
Yay, hooray.
Mm-hmm. And here's Regina's special.
Oh, yes. I did say we had something coming up. So this is it, Masterclass. As you know, we've been having sessions every week and starting with your vision and exit all the way down to operations management, risk management, your business plan. And each of these is a 1-hour webinar replay. I've turned it into a class, and except for one of them, I couldn't fit it into 1 hour. It's actually 2 hours, and that is agent recruitment and profitability. That's session 5. It's so dynamic. So with our 8-course bundle, you get online access, unlimited access for a lifetime to all of these courses. You get activity worksheets for each of them, bonus content, resources, everything that you need to do it on your own. It's self-paced. Basically, you can access anytime, anywhere you have an internet connection. Watch at your own convenience. You can stop and start, or you can watch it over and over and over again, or you can take notes, download the activity worksheets and work on your business. Take some time for yourself to plan your business to have a great and successful 2019. And it all starts today, right now, with the planning process. Don't wait till 2019 is here to start planning it.
Be proactive.
Be proactive. Oh, yes. And I guess I should mention the courses are $99 each. But with today's special, we've bundled all 8 courses together, and it's only $195 with the Brokerage special of that link. So do you want to put the link in the chat there?
Yep, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep, I was going to mention that, but yeah, you got it.
Yeah, so it's a bit.ly link, bit.ly/brokermint. There's our special for today. And prosper, be productive, and most importantly, make lots of profit for the rest of this year and in 2019.
All right, everybody. So that concludes our agent onboarding webinar. We're glad you all made it, and we're happy to see you here. So we hope to hear back from you soon. I do see a few more asking for the link. I'm sending it again.
Okay, great.
Do need anything, you have Regina's information here. Her email's on the bottom, and feel free to give Brokerman a call. We're just a phone call away.
Okay, awesome. I see all the chat. People are saying thank you, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this awesome session, Brian and the whole team at Brokermint. I love what you're doing. Keep up the good work. And for brokerage owners, keep working hard to make our industry better. And most importantly, keep growing your company. Keep hiring great agents, training them, and together we can make a difference for our industry and our whole economy.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Just reading the chat now. So again, if you do have any specific questions about Brokermint, feel free to give me a call or give us a call here and schedule a demo. If you're an existing customer, reach out to your rep and we'll be happy to help you.
Hey, Angela. I just had to give a little shout out. Hey, Carlos. A few of my friends on there. Awesome.
Awesome. So demo for the broker training. Just give us a call and we'll talk to you about it. I don't want to spend too much more time in the video here because we are recording it, everybody. So hopefully we'll hear from you all soon, and keep an eye out on your email.
Yay. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a great, wealthy, winning Wednesday.
Yep. See you around.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.